Everybody on vacation?
think Betsy just went to go get her glasses from her car. Yeah, who are we missing?
I think
Is Barbara
Barb,
coming?
no, I think
No.
she's
No, she said no. I have a sicklet at home, so I'm sorry.
sorry to hear that. Um, yeah, haven't heard from Dave or Fred.
No glasses?
I got,
Oh.
Josh Geek, I found something.
No.
No. You handing out pens?
It seems like it.
This is exciting.
Quite organized today.
Yeah.
Have some eyeballs.
Oh.
Pretty story.
Thanks. Very lightweight.
Yeah, it's nice. So who do we have?
If Aaron and Joni are on.
Can they hear us?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, yes, I can, Christine. You can't talk anything yet. Just kidding.
Okay, so we're gonna call to order at 10:19. So I'll just quickly go over the minutes in case you haven't read them. Call to order, we reviewed the May 21st, we accepted them. We reviewed the June 24th, 2024, because those were never accepted, we accepted them. The physical services meeting on 6/16. Two farms that were not recommended for inclusion requested to be on the agenda. Rainmaker Farm East in Claratunga. The physical services meeting determined that the Ag Board's memorandum of recommendation and Rainmaker Farm East and Claratunga would each be on the agenda for the full legislative meeting that took place on July 1st. The Putnam County Fair and Showcase, the Farm Bureau, Ag Board, and Soil and Water will share a space. There will be copies of the Ag Plan, Ag Map, farm brochures will be available, as well as Urban's cutout of farm animals. The Putnam County Agricultural Farmland Protection Board Plan, Farmland Protection Plan. The New York Ag and Markets has a grant of $50,000 available. Putnam County is required to match it with a $10,000 cash and $40,000 in kind. We briefly discussed it, and when Barb is available, we will get further into the process and procedures. And then we adjourned at 11:18. Anybody have any questions? Want to add to it or strike from it? Do we have a quorum? 1, 2, oh, they can't vote.
Nope.
How many is a quorum?
That's why I was asking.
Isn't it 5?
One more than half, so that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have a quorum. Okay, so we'll have
Just
to
wanted
table
to
that.
flag that for any voting.
Thank you.
get ahead.
Yeah.
There was someone else who said they were gonna be here.
I thought Cassandra was.
Oh, yes,
That I
she
just
is.
messaged her.
She's Soil and Water, either her or Brett, right?
Yeah.
She's, I think, soil and water.
Yeah, she's over there.
Maybe the
Um,
meeting's running over. or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so table that till
Just wanted to
we
flag.
get one more person if they show up. Okay, so let's just move forward. The Putnam County Legislature meeting held on July 1st regarding our recommendations. So everyone here, I'll email you guys if I haven't already. The resolution 184 and 185 of 2025 states that the farms that we recommended are accepted, and the secret and stuff was filled out and got sent to New York State, and the forms that we did not recommend were not included. Clara Patunga and Rainmaker were voted on separately, and they were also not included. And so it states it in the resolutions, which I'll send to you guys if you don't have it already. Just so everything is up at New York State. We're just waiting for them to rubber stamp it and say, congratulations, welcome.
Great.
Anybody have any questions about what went on at meeting? I can expound on it if you want.
No,
Okay,
or watch the video.
I'll watch the video.
Also, she said they're coming over.
Okay. So let's go into, so let me go to number 6, and I can talk about a few things. So apparently over at the lower park, in a little tiny room in the barn, is a whole bunch of stored stuff. Some of it is soil and water, some of it is basketball. I don't know why basketball's in there. Basketball, thank you. I'm not from here, so I don't know how to say that. Basketball and ag board stuff is in there. We have pens, which I distributed to those who are here. What else do we have? There's other placards and stuff. And once it's a little less hot, because this room has one door and no ventilation, I will go through and hopefully we'll find some file boxes with files so we can find that information that at least I've been talking about. There's also, I know that there's brochures and stuff that may be outdated, not maybe, some are outdated, some we can probably still use. So as I said, once it's a little less hot and I have some time, I'll go through it bit by bit and we'll see what we can use and what we think we need to update, and then we'll figure out how to get those things updated.
Yeah, so this says Lori,
Yes,
so it was never updated.
yes, but
Which is why
I didn't know if you had it, but you know, it's nice and slick. It's not.
Yeah,
says
if we
anything
have
wrong.
funding to print
Well,
it
we're gonna-
nicer, that
we're
would be
gonna-
great.
They had funding, so there must be funding available.
Isn't there a new one?
Yeah, that's the one I made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she made it in-house, which is, it looks great and it's
It looks as good
fine,
as this.
thank Betsy.
It does, it looks great.
but we. There was funding, so let's see where that funding went.
Sure.
Down to number 8. So there's no dispute about it. Please put on your calendars, except for November and December. It's the last Wednesday of the month at 10:15. Okay, November and December, I think is the third, it may be the third one, but the last ones conflict with Thanksgiving and Christmas, so we're gonna do it the week before.
Okay,
Okay.
December 17. It's a
Yes.
Monday?
No, it should be a Wednesday.
Oh, am I on the, sorry.
I may have made a mistake.
No, it's probably me. December 17 is Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna get this in, because I do have the other ones crossed off. I didn't get the new ones in. And it says ag board, and that's confirmed. Thanks. Let's catch up here.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the fair slash show showcase, whatever?
Sure.
Okay, so Ruby, take it away.
I would say the fair was a hit. Nicole was there, so we had a table, 2 tables under one tent. It was Ag Board, Farm Bureau.
Soil and water.
Yeah, I didn't know soil and water was gonna be included in there, but soil and water and the Grange,
I didn't know the grain was being included.
apparently. Yeah, so it was a lot of organizations represented. Betsy was there also at the table. Maybe a little too many brochures.
That's all right, you know,
we were
people
afraid-
pick what they
yeah.
wanted, is.
We were afraid we weren't
table
gonna
looked
have any.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, compared to last year where there wasn't
I
Yeah.
think there was just maybe a Farm Bureau pamphlet or something.
Sure.
So
thank you to
Yeah.
whoever.
These were
There.
the hit,
Those three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so it definitely, it seems like the,
how to access your local produce.
that
yeah,
one was also easy to hand to folks who like, yeah, we're not necessarily ready to be the farmers. It was like, yeah, this is a good way
Yeah.
to
Yeah, but-
interact with farmers in
Yeah.
your community.
yeah.
So, yeah, it was nice.
Supporting local agriculture.
Mhm.
I would say you talked to Kevin Byrne.
Well, Kevin Bird did stop by, yep.
You talked to a lot of people.
Yeah, I did, there were
Yeah.
quite a few people that came by. I didn't have a in-depth conversation with him, it was sort of just
Yeah.
introductory.
Yep. Hello,
Hey, there's Dave.
Hey.
There's our quorum.
yeah, great.
Sandra will be here shortly.
So, yeah. I would say overall success, still would love to have something a little bit maybe more engaging for folks moving forward.
Like an activity or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I will say the cutouts were,
Yep.
I mean, it was constant stream.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
For the cutouts.
Yeah,
Who would've
Excellent.
thought
yeah, the
that?
photos are,
That's fun.
that photo thing is really, I don't know if any of them are like, potential farmers or if they just
Right.
like
No, but
taking
see,
photos.
they're
but-
engaging.
Yeah, and
Engaging.
kids
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
and adults too, I mean, they all
Yeah.
had fun with it, yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of good conversations. Irvin was also there when I was
Yeah.
there, and so it was nice, like sort of tag teaming and yeah, sort of all different types of folks. Cassandra was also there for while I was there. So yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah. Even on Sunday it rained on
Mhm.
and off, and there's still a good turnout. So like,
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, even with the rain, we still had tons of pony rides, which I was kind of hoping we'd have thunder so I could pack. Because if it's thunder and lightning and I can't have kids out in lightning.
Yeah.
Because after Saturday, I don't know about you, but
It's
I
a
was
big day,
exhausted.
no, this is a big
Yes.
weekend,
Mhm.
it takes it out.
Especially they made it 2 hours longer. They asked you to
Yes.
stay 2 hours longer. So I'm glad. So do you have an idea of what kind of activity we would suggest, recommend?
That would take some brainstorming.
Oh, you don't have one in, do you
No.
have anything off the top of your head?
An idea.
Yeah,
great.
If we know about it ahead of time and I can hire someone to help me for my farmers markets and whatever, we
Yeah.
could put some baby goats.
yeah,
An interactive animal.
We have
Yeah.
to, so. Actually, we have to check with 4-H because
yeah,
you have to have a rabies vaccination to go to the fair, but there's no goat rabies vaccination, so you can't use off-label. So I have to see how they had the goats that were there. So, but yes, that's a great idea.
I mean, that's what all I have to offer really. And if you want it, we can try. And if it doesn't work, that's fine too. But like I said, if I know about it in enough time to hire some people to cover for my market in Devon Farmers Market, and I'm sorry, that's why we couldn't make it.
What, you had to make a living?
These goats have to pay for themselves somehow. They owe me a lot of money, these goats.
Christine, could we do a planting activity?
what'd you
what?
say?
A
Like
planting.
a planting activity, like plant a vegetable or something. I don't know, probably fairly inexpensive.
What do you
No,
think, like give the kids seed and a little,
dirt and let them, plant and then watch their crop, whatever we decide to give them grow. I don't know, just an idea.
Yeah, like pea shoots or microgreens or something like that.
Yeah,
do
And then
they,
they take it home and grow it.
or even an herb where they could put it on their window and keep it year round.
It might be not great for the end of the July though.
Pardon?
He's probably would be ideal at.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's why I said an herb, they could put it in the window and keep it year round.
I see your point at the end of the year, but it's one freaking pea.
Yeah, you're right.
Let the kids.
Fair
see
point, fair
it.
point.
I don't know about growing.
Life
vegetables.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let them see the circle of life. We planted it and we planted it too late and now it's dead and we can't use it.
Yeah, but something along those lines. I would say that might require a lot more materials than,
Might be easier though to get donated or, do something. I could work on that if it's something that you guys want or, aside from the goats would be awesome, but I don't know the legal aspect of it, but it might be something that we could do and I would be more than willing to work on it.
I got an idea. I'm putting a plant that's easy. Just plant something that's gonna be a sprout to eat. Like pea sprouts or alfalfa sprouts or something like that. That comes up, it's 3 inches high, you eat it.
Okay, so
Dave, I want you to tell me one 6-year-old that's going to eat an alfalfa sprout willingly.
Well, they haven't had it yet, a, a pea sprout is sweet.
I'm kidding with you.
I
Is
love
that something
sprouts.
we would like budget for next year, or would we need to? Aaron, you mentioned donations, but I mean, is that something we could budget for? Or would that be
Yes.
difficult?
I mean, there's no problem. Listen, budget season's coming up. There's no harm in asking, right?
right,
When is budget season? What's the,
It's got to be submitted by they're doing it right now, all the submissions.
Oh.
So it would be now, August. And then budget starts in October into November in front of the ledge. So
yeah,
I would get, we would have to talk to Barbara like ASAP to budget for that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think we could probably get some donations too, though. God forbid it fell through.
This is a favorite thing for the county. I think they'll probably get a little bit of money for that.
I would always be wary of, giving ourselves too much.
Oh, I agree. I'm not, yeah, I know.
Just because, oftentimes we only have one person at the booth, so or flagging that as let's be realistic with what we can.
yes, I totally agree
Pull
with
off.
that, and so what I would recommend is like in January or February. We come up with the ideas that we want and we ask people to volunteer, and if nobody volunteers for that specific activity, we just cross it off.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree that having some kind of actual hands-on interaction. Will bring them in so that we can talk about more than, oh, we're for farms, yay farms.
Right.
I just wanted to speak to the seating thing.
Yeah.
Especially at a fair like that and people are going around and carrying things and
Yeah.
stuff. This is logistically difficult.
Yeah.
So I think that if we looked, we could probably find the kind of a pot that has a little like cardboard insert that will sit on top of it.
Mhm.
And so they could plant it and you put the cover on it to take it home, but then when you get home, you take the cover off and you
Yeah.
should look
There's
for
gotta be
that.
something for it.
That otherwise it's sort
They
of.
could even get a food service container with a snap on.
That's what I'm saying,
So like
something,
a
yeah.
non-styrofoam, of course, and it was a snap-on
Yeah.
cover.
Something like an ice cream cup,
Yeah.
where you have the little
Yeah.
insert.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think that would be helpful to
And
the
we
project.
get a certain
Yeah.
amount of them, whatever we can afford, and then
But
when they run out, they run out.
if you,
Yeah.
your ice cream cup ideas, we go get them donated. I don't know if anybody got milkshakes last weekend. One day it was in a Dunkin' Donuts cup, one day it was in a McDonald's cup, one day it was in a Burger King cup.
Sometimes next person in line, you got a different cup.
Right, so
Yes,
They got
Whatever
all
we
get
do
donated,
get
right?
donations.
whatever they got donated, so we could do along the same ideas of.
And how
For the
smart is that?
ag
They get
work.
advertisements,
Yeah.
out of people walking
What's
around.
that?
Oh, that's interesting, because I was thinking of
Yes.
putting our own label on it. But even if it has theirs, we could still put our own,
Sure.
Mhm.
Really sticks to
Sticker.
it, yeah.
People didn't like, there was a lot of people that dropped plants that they were carrying, which is,
Yeah,
Yeah,
where are they
that's-
getting plants?
for, I think it was Kent Climates.
Yeah.
Yeah, Climate, I forget, because there was like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
different booths down there, but they were carrying around and they're struggling, so.
Yeah,
stuff-
and even this, I don't know, you don't wanna send them off with a plastic bag,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Right.
that.
Well, we had.
No, but so
Yeah.
where,
But if they're a little
Little
thing,
tiny
the little
bit.
kid can hold it, right?
but even. This year, they were towards the exit, so you could just write your name on it and leave it there until you're
Pick it up
exiting.
on your
You
way.
have to
They're
come back.
never coming back.
What about, okay, what if we created, and this would be extracurricular activity for us, but what if we had a like mommy and me or daddy and me project where they took the supplies in a bag home with them? They carried the bag, it was easier, and then we didn't have to worry about staffing it and they could do it as a family project.
At the fair or separate?
No, separate. They could take the stuff home, put
Oh,
it in a little container.
Little,
But then you lose the kids occupied, now we can chat up the parent.
All right, I was just trying to think around the whole,
Yeah, that's fine.
carrying stuff, but
So it's a good idea to just take it home, but I feel like the the trick of the kid entertainment is that then you have an education moment with the parents.
Parent. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
Yeah,
I think we can keep thinking about it.
yes.
It might be something where it's like not, I don't want to say goo slime. Okay, because I don't mean just like goo or slime, but kids love goo or slime or things
Oh,
that are
yeah.
like dirty.
Mhm.
Without being super dirty where parents are mad, but maybe that's like keep the kid occupied at the table with something that they don't take with them, but like they could do. Like a
Yeah.
sensory thing.
Sensory, beans.
Here's something where you can have a project with your kid on Friday when you order pizza.
Yeah.
So it could
Yeah.
be like that smaller
Yeah,
thing.
a little bit of both.
So maybe
Yeah.
like a sensory, oh, yeah.
I have a sensory table I'd be willing to donate.
You do it like corn.
That's fine.
kernels and-
You do
Yeah.
corn and beans, you could do rice, you could do,
Is there an activity at the fair that's already a bunch of corn?
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
grilling of corn. There was
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of grilling of corn.
I didn't leave the horse ring.
I
I don't
know.
know.
there was edible corn, it was delicious.
Other counties do that and we've turned to doing something else. I'll figure out the details on that. But I think other counties do that. If not, we also do it. I've just forgotten the details.
Did you guys talk about the volunteer part of the booth?
No. Go for it.
I don't want to jump ahead,
We,
sorry.
we talked about who was there and we thanked them profusely for it. And Ruby said there were 4 organizations at the table with lots of information, which is, I don't know, good or bad, you guys have to tell me. And
Too
then-
many for
Probably
one, I
not
think.
ideal.
Okay,
But if it's, I think collaborating in the future, but like a plan well ahead of time. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to get anything printed through Putnam County government, but it takes forever.
Well, I
So
do feel like once we have the things printed, because you got.
hopefully next year they're still good though, you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
plan like 3 to 4 months in advance for printed material, but you have wonderful printed materials.
That I can't.
So
yes,
get
and
here-
I brought,
Yeah.
Ruby made that board.
Yeah.
I brought it to show everyone.
I have your history binder.
Oh, great.
Thank you so much. It's gonna go in the storeroom.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to tape up the middle that it's sagging a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah.
I think like with stuff like that, like we can do it where we had like the tables at the front. Where it was like quick setup, put up the tables, here's a bunch of flyers, and it was like, okay, it got us there, because I don't know, did we do it last? No, last year, nobody went.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Did?
about.
No, we had a table last year.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we have one.
It was at farm.
Oh, yeah, because Irvin brought his thing last year too.
Yeah, he's brought it for the past few years now.
So I think like if it's something where you can get them into the tent, like out of the shade, so maybe that sensory pit, but then you can have, it's like ag board and soil and water, and then Farm Bureau could do something with Grange.
Right,
know,
and you
but
guys could be
all
right-
like in a row.
You could be
we
right
can
next to each other.
Share
Mhm.
support staff, and by staff, I mean volunteers.
That's always the thing, is coming up with the.
So that was good
Bodies.
to coordinate and be able to get like everyone a pool of all the volunteers, but I think spreading it out is better. Shares a lot.
Okay. Was there information from each of the 4 groups? I know that
Yeah.
you did, okay.
So
Everything felt like pretty complimentary though. I guess like the conversations I was having, I was able to sort of like speak, not so much to soil and water, but for all the other like ag groups, kind of like, you know, when you talk to somebody, you kind of figure out what's the best way to really relate to them. And
Yeah.
so like I think having the booths right next to each other would work next year, but we also had to kind of at least on Sunday, had to consolidate stuff because it was raining and one of the tables got pretty wet. And sorry, the cardboard got wet also. So I think having them together is fine. Maybe just like, yeah,
we just didn't have a big enough area.
yeah, with all the
Well, if we're gonna
printed
do any kind of
materials.
activity or something,
Yeah.
surely.
So
Mhm.
we'll take 2 spaces for the 4 groups to interact with each other next year.
But I think they've all like, nobody from Farm Bureau was mad about it. I'm also Farm Bureau now, I realize that. Everybody seems to be like good with it, and because, you know, everybody volunteers.
Yes,
And it's a limited pool of volunteers, so I think that combining them, but maybe just spreading us out a little more. Would be good.
and I know that not all of the farmers that we interact with are as educated, but we can still reach out to them.
Hmm.
I know
About being there.
about, yes,
Sure.
Here's a success story of, you know.
right. So we could get some of the farmers to just sit. at the table and talk about farming or to participate in these.
You know what we
Interactives.
could do, have an ask a farmer. Cause that's essential, at least that's what I found, I don't know about you guys, people were just coming up to ask ag questions, I mean, Sophia was also there.
I got asked about where I can get goats to come. get
Yeah.
My stuff, that's the questions really.
Honestly, that was most of the questions that
Any of those
Yeah.
questions, I was like,
Really?
I can answer those questions. All the other ones I have a really hard time with. So, yeah, okay,
So-
well,
People were asking specific farm questions.
Yeah,
Okay, so ask a farmer.
Yeah.
So then we could get several farmers to rotate in on that.
Right.
Especially since it is a Saturday and a Sunday in the middle of summer.
yeah,
Farmers market day, so.
it's not, I wouldn't like expect, you know, an overwhelming response from people wanting to sit at that booth.
No, I know that. I know that.
How far out do you know the date of?
Last weekend in July. I
Last
can tell you
full
right now.
weekend.
So we quite literally, to use the phrase I love, we have a year to plan for this.
Correct.
And then we have 2 years to plan for the next one.
Ah, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, so if people wanted, you could start reaching out now. I wouldn't say we've had great success.
So, but you have the listserv.
Sure.
Yeah, talk about what a great time we had and we're brainstorming for next year. Hope you'll consider, joining us.
Yeah,
I would say if there's like if we got overwhelming support from volunteers wanting to come talk about things, if there's a way to like time slots.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cause it's super confusing and it'd be like, I thought she was gonna be there and she thought I was gonna be there, and then there was other people, so there was overlap, which again, it was only like 4 of us, so same thing. But if there's a lot of people that might.
in the past, we've used like a Google sheet that went around. I wouldn't say it was the most taken advantage of, but it seems like maybe we have a more
Sure.
Things are getting more crowd. techy
And.
I was gonna say, can say the crowd, so maybe that, yeah, next year we can do that.
Okay, but I'll be at the horse ring, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah,
Okay, because you're talking freaking Greek to me. You know that.
I know.
so is it in like February, the February meeting when we should like revisit like the brainstorm that we just had?
I think so, because it'll be,
Yeah, you're past Christmas
Maybe
and all
right.
that.
But we will need, if
Well,
we
it has
want
to be
a
after
budget,
ledge,
for it,
yes.
need to,
no, we need to do that now.
right, that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
But so not January, because the ledge has to have their meeting, has to reappoint 2.
That's the first week, I think, of January though.
Okay.
That full ledge does that.
At first week, because if they do it, then we can
The
definitely.
first week though is more, so the month of January, we don't hold a lot of meetings. We do a full, you can have blueberries, yes. A full ledge meeting to kind of, everybody gets, we go over the legislative manual, things like that. And then in February, you get to see who gets put on what committee. So it would be more appropriate for February.
But we need to, how do we decide on a budget? How do we propose a budget line?
Maybe we need to. look
That
up-
needs to be done now for next year. That needs to be like ASAP, talk to Barb to get it in like now, because
Okay.
they're doing budget presentations and deliberation now. The meetings are running until August. So that should already be, something that is included. I can reach out to Barb. I mean, Trish, did you do your real property one yet?
Mine's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So they're doing it all and then they're presented in October
In my
and then November. So we need to
changes.
come up with a number of what we think and give a reason and get it over to Barb to include, because I can look at the schedule and see when it's gonna go in or see if we can add in a meeting.
All right. Isn't soil, so those brochures were printed by Soil and Water.
Right, so I was gonna tell you guys all about it.
Yeah, Soil and Water has funding, right, Cassandra?
Don't say it like that.
You know what I mean.
No, and so I think like, one is figuring out what the funding is, right? It's definitely gonna be like certain printing things, so like we just talked about Soil and Water, is like the state ag and markets, like they make it rain with flyers and stuff, right? And brochures and things like that we can do as part of outreach, ag board appears what ag is. I don't know if anybody saw this one. This was
Of course.
with neighbors. This
course
was
it is.
the ag environment management. So it's like different stuff like that we could utilize in New York State. But like, what else besides like the seedling stuff, like whatever sensory pit, like what are the costs that you think? Cause we went from like no dollar
Right.
at all,
Historically, we got $195 years ago.
right? So
And that
what
was
is
to
it?
put on,
Okay.
to buy paper plates for our annual.
Right,
meeting.
not for printing anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the question is, this came,
So is it like just printing stuff? Is it just 4-H? Like, what is
Well,
it we wanna
no.
do?
Are you saying we can get the printing stuff through wherever you're?
I think
like the
printing stuff
state?
is more of like a budget where depending on what it is, right? So if you're like, okay, I wanna do trifolds and I wanna be shiny and pretty and nice, you're not gonna get it off a printer in these buildings.
Right.
You're gonna have to go to like Excel printing or somewhere like that.
Right.
It's contracted with the county, so that needs to go in the budget to go to them, like soil and water can't necessarily, but at the same time, depending on what projects are and the actual stuff. Something that we're nitpicky about what it is.
I guess, so the one thing is, if budgets have to be submitted
Now,
like now, then I feel like we just don't have enough time to really like break it out.
Yeah, but we can definitely get something in, so.
Yeah.
it's like brainstorm, like,
So the,
Okay, that's for
so
sure.
these little.
Yeah.
I can also request at the budget meeting, if we need a little extra time, I can make a request to add something in to a line, if it's like $1,000 for the, for the 4-H fair, sorry, the kids in the background, the 4-H fair, and make the request, and if we come up with a nice document from the ag board, saying that we request it for this activity for next year, and make a motion to add it into the budget.
So
It's another way to do it if we wanted, but I would try to get it
Yeah,
that's
not
5,000.
in before then.
more than enough. Like, I was thinking of hay for Johnny's goats and like.
So Erin, if we request 5,000 and they say no, can we say, okay, how about?
Well,
3?
they're not gonna go from 0 to 5,000.
Well, I know that, but I'm just making up a number. But if they say no to the 5,000, can we say, okay, how about 3?
So you're gonna have to explain what it's for, right? We're
Okay.
gonna have to give them an explanation of what it's for. I would, if we've had a budget of $182, if we ask for $3,000, I think that's kind of a big jump. What I think we should try to do today is come up,
of just generalized even, like this
Okay,
could be. a
printed
collaboration with
materials.
Soil and water like it was.
printed materials and then activities for the 4-H fair. Yeah, if it was broken down and it made more sense, then yes. The worst thing that they're gonna say is no or reduce the amount.
Okay, so there is negotiations available.
potluck.
Yes, I
200.
think she's.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Right.
If
There
they're
is
not,
no-
they may
Just
say no to a
preference
number
here,
and
like-
say, you need to bring it down.
Yep, and they may also just move it to sub-contingency and say, well, you need to come, we'll move the money over to sub-contingency, and then you need to come back when you want to spend those funds and show us what you're spending it on, what's your plan, and then they'll approve it then. But again, that's a process too. That's committee and full. So just know that that's gonna take some time too.
Elizabeth, did you have something you want to say?
450.
Just that, as we were talking about the ag plan, there was funding necessary to,
That's totally separate.
that is, okay,
Yeah,
I just want to
that's-
say it's something.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
budgeted. Okay.
Okay, we're coming up with a basic budget right now.
Like $3,000.
She's like 5.
A potluck for $200 toward that, brochures $300, and the 4-H fair, $250.
No.
But we don't know what the activity is gonna cost, like the
Exactly.
little planter
Right.
thing.
Because
But we're gonna, because we have a,
So-
we're gonna try and
It's gonna
tailor
be
the budget to that
costs
activity.
Yeah.
Well, we have no
$60
idea if
and
that
soil
even
that
comes
costs
close. What if it's
I'm sorry.
$300 to get all these little,
Soil
now we blew
crust.
the whole thing.
Guys, turn that down.
I think somebody should Google something.
So, just a quick thing,
Okay, yeah.
they were giving about $1,000 out to non-for-profits this year.
Wait, sorry, Erin, what did, say that again?
Hold on one second, I have to quiet all my children.
Okay.
We're just gonna get something.
So I wanted to pass,
The other two go.
I wanted to pass, so my goal is here is that
I'm
like,
sorry, Erin, hold on a second, Erin.
You can't
I'm
just.
sorry.
I know that. Let's hear what Erin has to say and then I'll tell you my thoughts on that. Go ahead, Erin.
So like they do a non-for-profit grant program, right? Where they do funding. That's usually they give around, anywhere from $7,500 to $10,000. And I watched the Putnam Arts Council, like I'm sure Cassandra, you were there for that. And it was a struggle. And they had the 10 different funding sources they were giving to, and it was $1,000 a piece. So I just want to be upfront and clear that it is different, but I just want to, I think we should outline it and make sure that we have someone there to present it when it comes time during the budget season too.
Okay, but the Arts Council is not related to the county.
I'm just using it as an example.
Okay, because we are related to the county. Did you have something you wanted to say? What I just,
Yeah.
Okay, where is $3,000 going, Christine?
tell me what you have.
I put down for our potlucks, $400 twice a year. Drinks, plates, silverware.
$400 each?
Nope, total.
Total,
It should be $500.
no.
What are you spending it on?
What kind of
Because
potlucks are you
Well, yeah,
hosting?
what potluck do you spend
Because you-
$250?
You and I already had discussion about how you always want to ask for more. Because you
But
never know.
you're gonna need to outline what you're spending that on.
Then I will, and I will come up with $500 each,
Okay,
You're not gonna-
let's see $500.
okay?
Brochures,
That could be.
I put 300, I have no idea as to
Yeah, I
the
think it's
cost.
a lot.
That's costly, especially on the kind of paper.
Two sometimes, so I would say at least, I like 5 to 750 for the whole year.
I was gonna say, this is a yearly brochure.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say at least 5, just put 750 there as a print, just as, again, high side, if they want minutia.
How many brochures are we getting printed?
Well,
Question.
it's not specifically how many of one brochure, how many different ones, because we can do a lot of stuff according to this ag plan. We can put out flyers and take them to the towns, which we were told we couldn't, but according to the ag plan, we can. We are
And
supposed
we
to
would
be
pay money.
we're
What would-
supposed to
how
be
much would those
increasing,
flyers cost?
more than what you just said,
So you have
because
3
we're
there, what
doing
if we put,
several.
6?
establishing
Just
new
probably see
agricultural
where that
promotional
fluctuates.
efforts. I'm sorry?
If we put it to like 6 for the
Okay,
year,
sure.
right, for the
Whole
year.
year.
And again, that's not saying you have to, it may be where it's like some contingency and you have to kind of go back and say, well, yes, that is how that works.
Obviously, we would need quotes for all of these things.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come in with that information before they release the funds.
Yeah, we're just estimating.
That's
What did you
regardless.
say?
Does
don't
that
keep
matter?
that.
Do we have to do that even if it's under a certain threshold, or it's for
Yes.
everything?
Yeah, because it would be a completely new like we don't get a budget line. We don't get budgeting. We got what, $182 for postage in the past, I think it was.
Yes,
Okay.
but that
What were we
was
sending out?
for the plates and stuff.
Oh.
But that was in the past couple of years, like at the end of Lori's tenure. But prior to that, Soil and Water took the burden of printing some of this stuff. I'm not really sure who took the burden of printing some of the other stuff. So other people were covering our costs. That's why we had such a small budget. But now if we have to cover the costs,
Okay, 4-H fair.
4-H fair, let's see.
How much for buckets of sensory corn?
I don't know, this is probably, I can speak to Brandy because she knows about all these things. That's probably like $350. Because just to get a poster for the horses and
Oh,
Velcro
ridiculous.
things, right, it's like $1,000.
What
So this
poster are
sensory
we-
thing, sorry,
What poster are we printing?
we're not, I'm making a comparison.
You need no, your comparison needs to be comparable.
I'm just
think-
saying that it's more expensive than you think. And I'd rather ask for more and then say, no, here, we'll cut it down to this, then later have to say, oh, can we have more money? And then say, no, we gave you a budget.
Right,
What's that at now, roughly?
1,100
So
without the 4-H fair.
the sensory, that's gonna be close to $350, probably more than that. And another $250 for little miscellaneous things,
What miscellaneous things?
the sprouts, the soil.
That's a lot of money for that. I grew commercial sprouts and it's not that much
Okay,
expense.
I understand your points.
What if we say, perhaps, idea of, right now we have zero
Zero.
dollars. We don't even have the snack.
We'd like to
bar,
have a
right?
startup for this year.
So
Yeah.
what if?
We're a
it's-
startup farm.
We are a startup farm, two fruit trees. If we ask for, let's say, 2,000. Bear with.
How's it breaking down? Broken down.
And it's 2,000 of, and we spent some time and really flesh out what are all the things that we could do all year. Which again, probably will never.
I'm worried about the time, the
Yeah,
time,
we
we
would
just don't
need
have
to
a lot
do
of
this
time.
by tomorrow, Trish said.
Well, no, hers
Hers is due
So when
tomorrow.
planning due.
by physical on Thursday.
Any idea?
Cause it's not under,
Don't you know what the date is?
No, Cassandra, they're doing office meetings now with going over them before they go to physical.
okay.
So give me a second.
Yeah, you can find out when planning's due.
Youth Bureau of Real Property is Thursday, Sheriff's Department, Consumer Affairs, Elections, I don't know if it would fall under DPW. Because- No, it's not specific, like, it's not gonna say ag board planning. It's veterans, finance, personnel, DA, tourism, consumer affairs, sheriff, real property, youth bureau, DSS, probation, health, OSR, BES, law. It was probably under DPW.
And what date was
And
that?
that was, and that already passed. That was on the 29th.
Well,
My secondary.
this is fun hypothetical.
Going to be not.
But Erin, you were saying we could, there could be like an amendment to the proposal?
Well, yeah, we could propose it. So when, whoever's doing each department head does, guys, please quiet down. Whoever does the department head, whoever does the presentation would be the one that would request the funding.
Be Christine. Us, or Barb if it's.
I think
It would probably be Barb.
planning, but then Christine could go and
there if
be like,
necessary,
hey, we
support.
need
Okay,
seed pods or. So we have time, I think.
but probably not before the next part.
No, but that's.
I'd like to just point out that I think that because we've had no funding, we should make a very modest request for some things and then move forward with from this year to request more because we were successful. We had some things happen. We'd like to do more.
I will say I haven't had great success with that.
You don't think you'll be successful?
I'm now changing my tune. I say we go. I think you can, as long as everything is laid out. if it
2,500.
costs.
That's my lowest one.
Yeah. I guess, as long as
Oh, yeah.
Christine, I guess you have the time to write
I do.
itemize.
Yeah, and
can-
pull like actual links to the things that would be.
Right.
And also there are potentially things that, like this, we've done in collaboration, stormwater
Right.
with the.
200 buckets.
That'd be like, ooh, we actually, to meet one of performance measures of, collaboration and outreach and education, we print them. So
So a
like
lot
it
of
might,
them.
you may ask for 2,500 at the end of the year, same with other departments, doesn't mean you have to. Then again, if you don't use it, you lose it. But don't just like
Big party.
make it ring sensory pits everywhere.
Yeah, and they're going to call you up, Christine, or who, I would assume would be Christine, to say, what exactly are you spending this on? Show us all of the, show us all the numbers.
You have no problem itemizing it to the minute.
I just want you to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
I understand.
And that would probably be like September,
October.
October by the time we would have to do that, so.
Okay.
And you're gonna send in a request asking to be heard on the budget if we can't get it in to one of these meetings before.
Aaron, the meetings go through August or?
Yep, they go through August, but I don't know where this one falls because like I said, DPW was on the 29th and, planning isn't listed separately, so I assume they were with DPW.
Okay.
Maybe you could take us under your department, because yours.
Yeah, right, real property.
Yeah.
Real property tax.
Yeah, that's.
That would add more confusion.
Okay,
So by the next meeting, Christine, you're gonna have an itemized budget, is what I'm hearing.
It sounds like before, because you have. we
I
just
will
submit to
have-
Barb
I will have
In 2
a narrower budget
I would say by end of week, we need to submit something.
End of this week.
That's
Yep.
fine.
Mhm.
And then as we get closer, it'll be more minute,
Mhm.
minute, 6 pens, 6 magic markers.
No, I think you need to start out with those details, because that's how you get your total.
We'll figure it out.
So,
So,
so I just heard by Friday. That's what,
I heard her,
okay.
but by Friday is for the general. We're gonna spend this much on sensories and then I will break it down.
No, that's for deliberation for the
Right.
county executive and finance and everything before it goes in front of the legislature.
Right, and then by the time it goes there, it'll say 3 sensory tables at this much, 16 blue ink pens, 17 black
But it
ink.
has to, and it has to get approved by him to make it onto the budget. You know that, right? Unless one of the legislators brings it up separately.
Okay,
So does Christine need to create the itemized budget
Yep.
by, say, Friday or by
yes, but my new one with 16 pens.
itemized budget?
No,
Yeah.
itemized doesn't mean minute, like I just said. I would
It
take
does.
10 and
No,
then,
it does. It's gonna say office, it would say office supplies.
Or the October
But
one in
that's
front
not
of
what she
Ledge,
said.
but she may be correcting herself because Erin, what you need by the end of the week is the exact itemized thing, right?
I need like office supplies, $5 or $10, whatever it may be. Then I needed to say printing materials, $150. I need that type of itemized list. And
Okay.
then for the actual ledge meeting, you're going to need, we're buying just, we're buying 26 big ballpoint pens, blue, blah, blah, blah. We are getting this printed from Excel. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be a trifold, and this is how many we're getting printed on glossy paper. This is this is how much it's going to cost for the design. This is how much it's going to cost for the printing. So you're going to break it down line by line for Friday, and we'll try to get it over there. And then, for the next meeting in October, you're going to want everything to have backup.
Could do number 4.
okay.
7. Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, what other activities do people suggest for the fair? So that if I find that we're like $100 short, I can add another activity, even if we don't do it. Okay, come on, everyone.
I was like, don't take
See,
that.
I
not
thought
really
this is
this.
where we could utilize the internet. We could just be like, ag booth, activities for a fair. And I bet you
Something
came up with.
Well,
I would just say
okay.
for like, maybe if Joni were to like bring goats, maybe just to like for hay, straw, like those sorts of.
Yep,
I have to reimburse her. Okay.
I have animal expenses on
Okay.
here. Thank you.
Cause that's the other thing, it could be it's obviously a certain vaccination now that everybody needs, like, go to these things for animals and those get like costly. If people are volunteering their time, are they
But-
gonna volunteer also, like?
It is, I just want to bring, it is 11:05, and I know we
Okay.
have two more agenda items.
Okay, so, could you quickly read, did you read through the minutes from the last one? Can you quickly read so we can vote on that? And,
I don't have. Wait.
yes, they're there. That's not it.
Well, they were.
Oh, it's David.
Studying.
It's
I'll
David.
move approve the minutes of the minute last one. We've seen.
Let's give her a second, maybe she wants to make a correction. Nope, good. Okay. Anyone opposed to accepting last month's minutes? Okay, accepted.
I think they need the minutes much earlier than they've currently been receiving them.
Okay, I'm in a volunteer position. I'm
I'm just
getting,
passing on the info.
okay,
For all the reasons that you guys want
Who needs the
transparency, county. Cause they get,
Minutes? You mean agenda?
no,
no, the
minutes,
minutes.
cause they go on our website, on the ag board website.
Oh, they do? Where are they?
Have you been providing them?
We get them every meeting,
So,
but
Because
they're
we-
on there?
because we have people a lot more interested in looking at,
No,
the
but they're,
minutes,
you know
they're
that they're on
supposed to
there?
be,
They're not.
Okay.
as long as they're receiving digital copies of them prior to.
Barbara gets
the
them,
meeting.
and she's the one who tells me she posts everything.
I think she needs them earlier.
Yeah, could we have a deadline? I guess I've been having a hard time like prior, because it's also summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about the deadline because.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
I guess so it's
Minutes.
Barb that.
She
posts
posts, she says she posts them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, yeah, if it needs to be like to her a week before the
Next meeting.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay,
Does it say
so
Claire?
item 4, we're gonna table because I thought Barbara's gonna be here and talk about.
You have to vote on tabling.
Sorry?
I can report on that.
Yeah, Erin, can you repeat that?
You have to vote on tabling stuff like that.
Okay,
But
we
Ruby,
table that, the,
I talked to her yesterday, so I'd have info to report about it. Do you not want to talk about it?
no, we can talk about it, but I need to get out of here by 11:20.
Okay,
13 minutes, go.
so the first thing was that she needs notes earlier from the meeting minutes.
okay, great. But she she didn't give like.
An exact day, no.
I think a week is reasonable, but you guys can discuss that with her.
Yeah.
And just
Okay.
clarify, maybe it's agenda. Because
No, it's
minutes don't go on the website right now, they just don't.
Well, all I know is that they need the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Planning will be the fiscal party to run the ag plan. I know we talked about that last time. In order to put in the application for the grant application, we need, what are the current updates that we need to make to our existing plan? So she needs us to come up with 3 bullet point. Have you looked at the application?
No.
Okay,
Is that available online?
Yeah.
Do you know where?
I can send it to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
So that's part of the application, so that's something we need in documentation. The current ag board thinks that that plan is outdated, and these are some examples of things that we need updated.
Okay.
So that's our homework for next meeting.
Yes.
And then I did reach out to a few consultants. Everybody's come in at 60 or under. So I don't think we need to be concerned about what happens if they cost $120,000. So far, I haven't seen that as a problem.
Great.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about the last time.
Yep.
Yeah.
We resolved that, no problems. Oh, maybe that's probably for a different topic. Okay, I think that's all my updates regarding the ag plan. So what she needs from us are specific examples, probably a few sentences about things that need updating. So maybe everybody comes with one.
And by
By
the
next
27th, by next meeting, or should
Yeah.
we need that before them? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's due in September, so that would be perfect.
27, we said.
Yep, August
August
27th.
27th.
Thanks.
Okay, most of you know that Cassandra is the new chair of the Soil and Water Conservation District Chair. Welcome. So by virtue of her position, she's now on the ag board. Can you give me your information so I can complete that, fill it, and send it, everyone can have the information? And then can you talk a little bit about how we're supposed to be working with soil and water, like there's grants and stuff available for farmers?
I'm gonna do one thing at a time, which is not this.
Okay.
And so we just had the meeting, I just kind of briefly talked about it of like down this. So this is like an example of how like soil and water and outreach and education, which is part of, that works with the ag board or works with farmers and gives, some of the support of like, if you need a printed brochure, to scrap to do it. So part of it's that, but then part of it also is, I know when they did the 2004 plan, were you here when they did this one?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like deja vu for you then.
I guess.
So like the AEM program is agricultural environmental management program. So there's tier 1 through 5 ones that the survey that gave them a lot of the data for this. But that's something soil and water does, but that's something that is like a collaboration that like everything supports each other. Cool. I see, I don't know, is that Trish? Is that your copy?
No, that's mine.
So stuff like this, I think Sophia, we're gonna try to get copies of this. This is like an outdated one, but it is good where it shows all of the different grant programs and funding lines and things like that for agriculture for farms. To make it a little easier. And so, yes, there are certain things that like soil and water can do to help that. And there's certain things of like that AEM program, which we're starting, and that's starting back up, I guess, to get it where you need to be in like AEM tier 1 or tier 2 to get approval for some of these funding lines. So it's moving, it's going, we'll get there. And it really is a resource to be able to help, farms and any environmental, concerns and things like that. That's what soil and water is really there for, to help do that. I could go on forever, but I don't think, I know we have till 11:20, so I don't want to. But so we're trying to get more like this of, and there won't be that really for ag board, because ag board is really like a county thing. But anything that's like agriculture or ag and markets or funding or grants, or there's like tax incentives. I don't know if that's something that the ag board, I know in the old plan, it was
Right.
like educate landowners and farm owners on how to do that. I'll be honest.
Right.
It's spooky for a lot of people. So if there's a way that we can do that, awesome.
So it was in the old plan, but I don't know if any of these things were ever implemented and then just left to go by the wayside, because this is from 2004 and we're this 20 years old. So maybe at the beginning, there were some of these programs that were live and then they just allowed them to become deceased. But
Like the plants we'll give to kids. I think with this though, like legislature, so over time, right? Legislature and administrations and everything changes, right? 2004 was like a different world now.
Very different.
So I don't even know that legislature understands that this plan and the things in it weren't just the hopes and wishes of the people in this room in 2004. Their legislature then approved it to give that authority of, yeah, go out and do these.
And some of this is by our authority. So if you look on page 90, if you look online, it has an
We can share.
implementation steps, and it tells you, it has codes about what's supposed to be implemented right now
That's a bit different.
in a couple days, in a couple years, not literally, just figuratively. And there's all this stuff that has this symbol here.
Yeah.
And
Ongoing.
I don't know how much of this stuff was ever implemented. So I did move up here till 12.
I guess it'd be interesting to review and just like
Right.
check back, see what happened.
So I'm hoping that when we get a new plan in 2 years, whoever's left on the board pushes to get the stuff implemented instead of just says, oh, we only have to meet twice a year to vote on farms. No, we don't. This is our directive as well as voting on farms.
And in 10-15 years, we hope they do the same. Yeah.
Just really quick, sorry, you were elected chair this month, I guess so you just joined, and then, so going forward, I guess, will you like report out to us from the soil and water meeting, or you're just?
Oh,
you're
to
just
come
sitting
here
on the-
every time after.
Well, do they do minutes, Cassandra, the same way, or do they live stream it the same way we do and put it up?
No, it's so funny that you say that. We are going to be doing that.
Cool. Okay, great.
Yeah, but like realistically, soil and water is the meeting before this, so then I just wander over, and if there's any crazy developments, surprise, you'll know about them. But again, you could also reach out, if there's questions or things like that.
You will give us a brief report as to what happened.
Yeah.
I also have 2 other things that there's no, this is for more topics.
Are they gonna be brief?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 minutes.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that they get done. According to Barb, we also need to ask the ledge to update our resolution 139. So because we want to get that ball rolling prior to next. season. Yep.
So we asked for it?
Yeah.
Yes. This, I'm reporting back on what the procedure is.
Okay.
We're sitting here wondering.
I can send a memo over, but we need to,
Demo.
well, you wouldn't send the memo. I would send the memo to fiscal services. So we need to have a conversation as to what you want on the resolution 139 to encompass.
Right.
Right, so
So what
that's,
Okay, I'm a little unclear as to why you send the memo. It's coming from the ag board, not coming from. a
Christine,
legislature.
have at it. It's all yours.
Okay, wait, can I just
Sure,
finish?
yep, yep.
So, we also discussed that we need examples, right? So we're asking them to update the resolution. It might be good if we had examples of what we would want as an example for them to look at. That would be something that we would all agree upon. So there were a few other counties that are nearby that might have similar makeup to ours that would be helpful to look at as examples. But we do need to get that officially rolling.
Okay,
Um. So I don't know if we want to have that done by next meeting or what sort of timeline we would like to give ourselves for that.
Yeah,
But-
is it kind of like as soon as possible, we need to get this to
N-
Barb, basically?
there's
I think
no,
probably yes.
yes and no, it's not going to affect the ag board until next April.
Right,
but
but
we
we know
wanna-
how fast they move.
Right, we wanna move it forward. Yes, Cassandra?
Two things. One, could we just stop and remove 139? Just they do a new resolution because it would be a new number anyways, because 139 is.
Well,
gonna
that's
take-
basically, what do we want instead of?
But just, so we need to be clear on, we're not, what this board wants, and it's asking, we just remove 139, new criteria, because 139 has got a really bad connotation to it, I think now, after all the years.
That would be a
New
logistical
number
item.
fresh, so, but I can send to you guys, I don't know how this works to get emails and things for all of you, I don't have yours, I think it's yours.
We got a list on.
I had talked to you and looked at a few of the other counties for like their resolutions for criteria, so
You
I
have
have like a draft, and it actually even says like why. In my opinion, so for everybody to look at, like why the old criteria was hogwash. What it can be and should be replaced with that's more reasonable.
And you have
Um,
examples of
Oh,
nearby
yeah, I
counties.
did that like 4 months ago.
Right.
So I'll send it.
Okay.
If you guys wanna take a look, to give a starting point.
Yeah. That's what we need. We need examples from nearby counties.
Yeah, I think it was Dutchess, Orange, and, it was a bunch, it was like 5 or 6, but a lot of
Any
them
ones
just,
that are less,
it was nothing.
more similar to our county.
They had no criteria, 'cause you don't need criteria. So, yeah, yep. I'll
Yes.
send the email.
So if anybody
But
wants-
like, did you look at Westchester's?
Mhm.
Okay, cause that's probably a more similar
It was a lot.
reflection.
Yeah.
Than like Orange. In terms of Putnam County.
So when you fill this out, I'll update it and send it to everyone, so you have everyone's contact.
The other thing, anything else on that one?
Sorry, so we'll do this over email
Yeah.
before next meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you could send that maybe first, Cassandra, that would get the ball rolling
Yeah,
probably on
absolutely.
that. And then the other thing is, we still haven't made moves since we first talked about it on our rules and regulations of our board.
So the bylaws.
Thank you. That was the word I was blanking.
Yeah,
on.
the bylaws, I've redone them since the time we went over them. I can send them out today. If people want to make changes and do what they'd like, I'll send what we
They-
kind of went over last time.
Right, we just haven't moved forward
Yep.
on that. So maybe it should be on the agenda for next time, and then we can all make sure that we go over them. There's just a lot of things that like keep falling by the wayside, so I'll just keep bringing them up.
Yes.
Okay, and so if there's anything you want on the agenda, please email it to me.
By when?
By
need
A week before.
Maybe
By Thursday.
2 weeks before.
by Thursday. Previous Thursday.
When do we need to make sure the agenda goes out?
PS, it still wasn't even on the website that they had a meeting, just to make sure everybody knows that. So sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
So probably the earlier that we can get things to the county folks, the more likely it would be on the website.
I like the idea of having other business here on the.
If we only have a few things, then I'll put it on, but we have an hour to cover things.
Move through items more quickly.
Okay, some items can't be moved through quickly. Thank you.
Okay,
We have a motion to adjourn, please.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Second,
Aye.
thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone?
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thank you. It's 11:21.
21.
Post meeting, I got a question for everybody. does this time still work for everybody?
Yeah.
Is there anybody could stay a little longer with, at all?
No. Sometimes, but not that often.
All right, I'll see if we can get more.
Should we make it a little earlier then?
No.
So,
Yeah.
I was wondering if it's like almost after football, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we're just running out of time in both meetings.
Yeah, agreed.
What do you think about trying to meet?
All right,
8:45?
I'm gonna end the Zoom since we're
Okay.
just chatting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye, guys.
Yeah, I can be.